The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation, Mepharad Grant, is brought to you by Alive, Bahamas Welding and Fire, Better Living Health Center, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Da Vinci Printing Innovators, the Department of Inland Revenue, Epic Battery, Pinter Towel, Print Masters, Ron's Electric Motors, Star General, Insurance Made Simple, and Wendy's.
The Foundation. 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 The Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect on this absolutely gorgeous Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. We're about 6 days away from the end of the quarter. I've already heard some things, little snickering, little conversation. I want to put some mats together and have a good conversation with you. It is bananas. Let's continue to be able to do those things, guys. It's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Got to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They get everything laid out for you. Make sure you go and check them out if you're in the market for insurance. Any variation of that, just go and check them out, man. They are on 407 Blue Hill Road South, located on number 407 Blue Hill Road South, just east of the Golden Gate Shopping Plaza. And they'd be more than happy to accommodate you. Just ask for Mr. Richardson or, my good friend, if he's there, Ethric Bo would be more than happy to accommodate you and make sure that you're good in that space. So go and check them out, guys. It's a beautiful day. And you want to be able to start the month of April off correctly. It's the second quarter. So you want to start that second quarter off correctly and be able to make some things happen. So get your car insured and any other packages, any other packages that you're looking for, make sure you can be able to get that thing done. Also, we're kind of winding down now as it relates to Coco Plum and in preparation for them to be able to do Coco Plum Wellness, in preparation for them to be able to open up their new location. It is in the One West Plaza, and Dr. Teresa hasn't called me to say whether or not anything is delayed. I'm sure that she can hear me on a day-to-day basis, and so if it's anything, to the contrary, I know that she'll call me. But it looks like we are on target to be able to open up the first week of April and being able to do some things. So we're 6 days away from April, and she's going to be able to tell me exactly what we're hoping that we can put some things together to be with her on her launch and being able to tell you about the great benefits of the hydrocolonic. And guys, you're going to be able to do it. I got a couple calls most recently. Howard, can you tell me the number for the thing? Can you tell me the number for the hydrocolonic? Can you tell me the number? I won't go to that doctor you had on there. Yeah, I had some calls on that. The number that you can be able to reach her for, because you may not necessarily want to reach her today. You feel fine today. But you may feel sluggish in due time and due season. You may feel bloated. You may feel that you want to get some things taken care of, and you could do the hydrocolonic. The hydrocolonic is essentially an evacuation. That's all it is. It's going, it is not as an invasive that you think it is, right? Gentle. She puts the room temperature water in this particular space to ensure that they hydrate the rectum, the colon area, and they can be able to evacuate those things that have been in there for a little while, and you haven't been dealing with that. So if you're feeling bad in those areas and you don't necessarily know exactly what's what, the first thing that you want to be able to do, what I've done is I got on a parasite cleanse, right? So I've been taking some parasite stuff over-the-counter stuff, and I've gone to be able to do some natural things just to be able to ensure that I feel better. And then you want to be able to simultaneously couple that with being able to get your hydrocolonic to really cleanse yourself out if you don't feel up to the par. Especially as you get older, we feel honest, we feel a little bloated, we don't necessarily know exactly what's happening. You could go to bed fine one night, you wake up the next morning, my God, why the leg, this, and so forth and so on. All these things happen as a result of the bacteria. Well, it's good bacteria, bad bacteria, but the parasites, let's put it like that, in your intestines, in your gut, in your stomach, and those things that continue to be able to fester that we've never been able to deal with, especially those people that continue to be able to put poor food on top of that, like noodles and all these things like that, like your little ramen noodles. Get yourself evacuated, man. Get yourself cleansed out in those particular areas. You can be able to reach out to Dr. Teresa, and she could take very good care of you. That's Dr. Teresa Adderley Smith, and she could take very, very good care of you. Her number is 445-8111, 445-8111, or you can just check her out at www.cocoplumwellnessbahamas.com, cocoplumwellnessbahamas.com, right? Guys, make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. All the information's in the paper. Bid to stop the U.S. ship fee. Move would be devastating for the Bahamas and others in the region, right? They started to be able to talk about these things, and some information came about, I think it's $1 million. Let's see if we can read exactly what's what. Shipping agencies from across the region, U.S. ports, governors, international businesses, governments yesterday voiced opposition to the United States Trade Representative's USTR proposal to impose a port fee of $1 million per port call on any Chinese-built vessel calling at U.S. ports, right? The USTR held a public hearing on the proposal in Washington, D.C. Nearly 500 comments, letters, and documents were posted on the USTR's website about the proposal, the overwhelming majority of which asks for to rethink the policy. Okay, so now I should have called my cousin to tell me more information about this. I could be incorrect, but this is what I understand, okay? I have two cousins in this particular industry. I think everyone knows the larger company that actually does that, which is Elnet in Grand Bahama. He's my first cousin. And also my cousin Warren, I think his company's called Zale, right? I can't remember, right? But the concept is this, right? And my cousin Albert would have told me something about it at the beginning of this thing, right? The concept is this. So they come into port and they have to dock out to sea, right? Now, every time they dock in this particular space, there is finances required, right? To be able to ensure that they can accommodate the boat, they can take care of the boat, insurance, doctors, whatever you need, food, whatever the case may be, for those persons to be able to ensure they can take care of the boat. It sounds to me that they've increased that drastically. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they've increased that drastically and seeking to discourage those persons from being able to do business in the Western world. If that happens, if this discouragement happens, and now the ship is made to pay 10 times more, because I think it's $100,000, right? If the ship is made to pay 10 times more at this particular juncture now, it may not necessarily discourage the ships from being able to come in, but the products, the price, the services, all those particular things will be tacked on. No one's going to lose money. This will be tacked on to the customer, to the client, to those particular persons who are dealing with these particular things. And we don't want you to be discouraged from being able to come in this sector. So I agree with these persons. They necessarily need to rethink it. America's ideas of being able to make America great again could detriment us in these particular region, in these particular spaces. So it's important that we identify that. I'm sure we can have good conversations about that. I think I'm going to call my cousin so he could be able to tell us about this and tell me more information about how that could be detrimental in these particular areas. Sands dismisses the Deputy Prime Minister's claim of the F&M disunity, right? It's peculiar. I want to talk about it, right? Government will move forward with bi-weekly payments. This is what the minister says. Is it just me, or is it things changing? Not necessarily getting better, but changing to the tune of what seems right in the man's eye, or in the government's eye, in leadership's eye, without consideration for what's happening within the community. Is it just me? Is it just me? Because this could be strange. This could be peculiar. And while you're thinking you're making considerations for these things, I'm sure that you're accommodating your responsibilities as an entity, as a government. But the truth is that people have become accustomed to this monthly thing, and they live in accordance to how they can be able to do it. Right? Those particular persons from government, they understand, hey, listen, I just have to wait. I have to do these particular, hey, this may be a real shift in our society. This may be a real shift in our society. We haven't learned about money, not necessarily from a foundational standpoint. When we were in school, we haven't learned about money enough to understand how to treat it when we get it. We haven't. I just want to be decent with you. There isn't enough education about savings and putting away. Everyone, so many persons, I can't say everyone, so many persons are on survival mode. And if they touch that money twice a month, they could find their house in despair because they knew what they needed to do for that month-to-month thing. But now, every other week or bi-weekly, whatever the case may be, has placed you in a position where you think you got it. But Furniture Plus still got your money. John S. George still got your money. You still owe these particular things, but because you think you can touch it, you're not necessarily making the right decisions to ensure that you could accommodate the bills that you've been racking up over time. And so I would suggest that the government, if they care enough, to have certain seminars and small conversations with the unions and the representatives of all those uniformed workers to make them to understand the importance of being able to manage your money. I think that these things are important. I think a lot of us are sitting in this position. As a grown man, I know what to do with my money. Nobody can tell me to do it. Yeah, I understand. But who knows what lies in the wind for us? Who knows what's just beyond the horizon as we continue to move towards that every day? Who knows? As we're looking at what's happening out of the United States of America and the decisions as it relates to tariffs, the decisions as it relates to really being able to make America great again, this isolated concept, very self-absorbed concept that is affecting everyone in the perimeter. I think we're going to have to make some very, very strong decisions. And one of those decisions is, how do I now preserve the little that I have? We got to be able to do that. And our government has to have the foresight to understand that you don't want to cripple an economy by being able to give the illusion of access. If it's not broke, you didn't have to fix it. This is just my personal opinion to be able to talk about these things, all right? So I want to talk about this today, guys. I want to be able to have a very good conversation with you as we move forward and talk about where we are as a nation and where we are as a people. Joining me in a hot second is my main man, 100 grand, Garth Roseborough, just to be able to have a good conversation with me. He's been on a hiatus. I suppose he's been traveling and doing his thing elsewhere. I'm not going to fight him. He's a decent man. Praise God for him. So I'm looking forward to being able to have this kind of a conversation with him. I'd love you guys to be able to join me. I want to dissect this position with Sands being able to dismiss the Deputy Prime Minister's claim of disunity. I want to talk about this just a bit. I know that we get political. I know that we continue to be able to dive into these things and talk about it, but we're looking for the type of leadership that can transform a nation that has been really grappling with tribulation after tribulation. We're looking for leadership that has vision, a bigger vision for a better Bahamas. We're looking for that. And so we're going to hit on politics often. We're going to continue to be able to go at politics often to identify whether or not the leadership that's up and coming has the wherewithal to take us to the space that we want to be. I want to talk decent with you guys. The numbers that you can be able to give me a call today with are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720. Or you can hit me up, 422-4796. Let's take a quick commercial break, guys, and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
Tennessee Lampkin. Besides carrying all the roofing material needed to cover East End, Enterprises also has all the equipment needed to put it together. Hand tools, power and manual, including hacksaws, hammers, mauls, wrecking bars, well, hopefully they won't need them yet, drill bits, tapes, plumb bobs, levels, and more. We got cement, concrete bond and fiber, lime, sand, and P-rock. We got dust masks, safety glasses, gloves, hard hats, and high visibility vests. Lampkin, what we got here at Enterprises is a one-stop shop for builders.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect. I just want to get a little indecent with you as we derobe a great deal of things that is actually spilling out into the public domain. And we look at these things and see exactly what's what, okay? Now, I won't touch this, and I won't be decent with you. I want to be decent with you, okay? So, imagine formality. I have an entire tuxedo on now. Yeah. In your mind, I'm dressed in a tuxedo and the approach of being able to have this conversation with you because I want to be decent, but I want us to be able to open our eyes. Okay. Guardian newspaper, Monday, 24th of March, 2025, U.S. District Attorney suggests Curtis Roker and others considering plea deal, right? United States District Attorney for the Southern District of New York has petitioned the judge for a 60-day adjournment in the case of senior Bahamian police officers and former Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers who are both accused of the involvement of the conspiracy to import cocaine into America. Did you guys see that $500,000 bus thing yesterday? Did you see that? Let's talk. Let's go ahead. Said he got it out of the Bahamas. That he was supposed to pick up he was supposed to be smuggling people, but essentially he smuggled some cocaine and $500,000 worth of it. And the first person to snitch on him when the Coast Guard showed up, because I think he was supposed to go to Dade County or Dade Beach or something like that, Dania Beach, and his wife,
His wife said, no, that's cocaine he has. I just want to be very clear with you. That's what it is, okay? Listen, it's supposed to be for better or for worse. What happened, maybe? So let's talk about this. Now, this is in the papers yesterday. Acting U.S. Attorney Matthew Podolsky noted that a March 21st letter was submitted with the consent of the defendant's chief superintendent, Elvis Nathaniel Curtis, former Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer Darren Alexander Roker, Bahamian Williams Simon, and Luis Fernando, right, who's also Colombian. Now, they were seeking a delay in the case for the upcoming status of the conference, which is set for Wednesday, March 26th, which is tomorrow, and suggested that 4 defendants are. I'm getting somewhere with you. I just want you to don't fight me. Let's get somewhere. 4 defendants are considering accepting a plea deal to avoid the trial. Let's highlight this thing here. 4 defendants are considering accepting a plea deal to avoid the trial. That, okay? Let's put a little star right there. Okay, asterisk. Today's newspaper. As we open up today's newspaper and kind of swim through the information as exactly what's existing and what the PLP is prepared to do as it relates to these particular things. I didn't hear anything formally from these persons just yet on this matter. All right, they had let me read it now. The Progressive Liberal Party just recently had a sort of a pre-election bid for the upcoming thing, right? So I'm going to read this thing, and now this is from the internet. So this particular person or this entity is learning that Prime Minister Philip Reeves Davis' Progressive Liberal Party is now in the final stages of being able to turn its general election plans and is set to launch a re-election bid for its people tonight. Okay? As the generals of the party gathered in Fox Hill, which was last night, as they gathered in Fox Hill, they were put on high alert that the party is set to kick off its general election campaign this coming June 6th, which is Labor Day. Okay, so let's just do some maths. Strategically, almost simultaneously, this could just be serendipity. This could just be happenstance. It doesn't have to be by design. It doesn't have to be as a result of. But this could be serendipitous. This could be as a result of just, the universe doing what the universe does. Who knows? When the U.S. District Attorney has indicated that these particular persons are going simultaneously, serendipitously, the PLP has come out and being able to give us very clear examples that they're going to prepare themselves for the next general election. Now, I find this peculiar. I do. I find this very peculiar. The peculiarity that I find in this is similar to when I heard in the midst of emotions that was rushing over the entire country when Obi Wilshcombe passed away, and we had a good conversation with, we had a very good conversation, quick one, with chairman of the party and good friend and colleague, Fred Mitchell. And one of the first things that he says, well, this is my penultimate. This is his penultimate campaign. It was peculiar that I heard that. And I said to myself, as a result of being able to hear this sort of an idea of a penultimate campaign, I know that the end is looming. And not just for us to understand and identify the horizon that we've been running towards our entire lives. And now, taking on this posture and position to identify the finality of our lives, of our political career, and indicate it's a penultimate. I said something's a little off here. Today, March 25th, the PLP yesterday has indicated that they're going to launch their re-election campaign on on the same day, serendipitously, Garth just walked in the studio. On the same day, serendipitously, it was the exact same day that the U.S. indicated that they are trying to be able to strike a plea deal with these particular persons. It's very peculiar. I feel like Rafiki in The Lion King. Very peculiar, don't you think? Very peculiar. Now, I'm not trying to be, like I said to you, this is formality. I got my whole tuxedo on today. I am not prepared to dive into anything informal. I am simply saying to you that the PLP has been preparing for this. You can take the paper, look at the paper. The PLP has been preparing us as a nation for this. There has been enough conversation, especially about the high-ranking politician. Talk to me. I just want to be decent. There has been enough conversation, speculation, and even a short list to the possibilities of who this high-ranking politician could be. Then all of a sudden, now, PLP is getting ready. Now, Garth, you and I had this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Garth Roseborough in the studio with me. Garth, say good afternoon to the people out there. Let them know that you're here live and in full effect and you're still living.
Still alive, Howard Grant.
You're in
Still
there,
alive.
praise God.
Yeah, you saw me fooling with those bees yesterday.
Yeah, I saw you yesterday.
I did the whole job. I went to, put the bees at a different geographical location, and those things until I was about to leave, one of them flew through the window and stung me. He said, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it stung me in my arm. I said, but at least that's proof I did my job, eh?
Take a picture, send up an invoice, right?
And I got paid, So
Praise God. So you get
I
paid.
thank Mr. Bradley Kemp for that opportunity.
Now, let's talk about this, Garth. I want to talk. We're talking politics now.
Yeah, man. You have to.
You and I had this conversation already, and we said for the speculation of corruption that's being levied against the PLP. Talk to me now. For the speculation of corruption that's being levied against the PLP. If it continues, if it's not dried up, if it's not dealt with, if the PLP doesn't come forth with, fire some people, deal with some things. Now, they tried to rectify these things, but all they did was reshuffle. They didn't necessarily eradicate and deal with some things. They didn't fire nobody.
Transportation.
They moved some people.
Immigration.
They moved some people.
PAIC.
But they didn't put the people on the proverbial political and social firing line and got rid of them.
No.
They just make them shuffle, and they make us to know that these people are pride. We have a pride in being able to deal with these people, and they're contributing significantly to our society. Even though you feel an indifference with them right now, we're going to move them from your face and put them someplace else. This is what happened. We said that the PLP's fight over the past few decades has not been the free national movement.
That is correct.
God, let's talk, God. We here.
I like
You here with me. We here.
And when you keep talking,
I said that the PLP's fight over the past few decades, almost a generation, has not been the free national movement. We said this, God.
Yeah, we know. We have a neighbor.
We said very clearly that we've identified that this is the proverbial jackals. Just be decent. From the corporatocracies that existed. This happened all the way from 1987. We had the chairman here the other day. I said, people keep calling you all corrupt. You all never deal with it. And he said, well, that's just an F&M talking point. Ha! Sir, it's not. It's not only an F&M talking point. This is a posture and a position of external entities that continue to be able to identify your organization in the depths of corruption.
That is correct.
This ain't that nice thing. This is information proven, laid out. You could be able to touch this thing.
Yeah, that's what I like about sitting down with you, Howard Grant, because you always hit it on the nail head.
Now, God,
there's no
you and I
competition
said PLP don't deal with this corruption and the perceived corruption, and don't distance themselves from these particular persons if they don't do their internal investigation, identify whether it's the F&M or within their organization, who is this high-ranking politician, and push him or her out to the forefront and say, brother, we can't go down because of you. Listen, they throw Jonah on the boat. You think we can drown because of you? You got to go, brother. I got children to go home too. They didn't do that.
And you
They have not done that.
and I do assume that you have assessed as to why they have not.
Of course they haven't. Everybody know that.
Tell us why you feel they haven't.
Because the web you weave, the connections thereof, may go higher than you like. Man, God, let me be formal today. I won't be decent. Why are you trying to get me to some darkness?
Well, I see you got on the sackcloth, and I see your ashes.
No, I ain't gonna ashes on today.
Is that-
We're still in Lent. We're still in Lent.
You repented?
Praise God. We still in Lent. I feel a little chilly. So put my scarf on. Now listen to me.
Here's the analysis that I came up with this
Okay, let me
morning.
hear you.
I woke up with this on my mind. It almost seems to me that the Progressive Liberal Party is making a calculation,
God.
a guess,
You-
a guess,
God,
a guess,
we
just
are-
a guess.
No, this is their strategy. They had to strategize this.
Yeah, but I'm saying this now to you. You now have 32 seats. If you lost 10 seats, you have 22 seats. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you still retain the government.
But it ain't gonna be that easy. That ain't gonna be that easy. You see, the FNM has been waiting their lackluster posture for the most part, and not being able to give us vision, not being able to give us insight. Not
But this is
being
what
able
I'm
to be
talking to you
forward.
about, and I'm saying with what you're now saying, even if you gave this Free National Movement Party an additional 10 seats, which brings them to 17. Listen what I'm saying to you. As a Progressive Liberal Party government with 22 seats, you just cut the fat. Those 10 people you don't want them know how.
Yeah, no, hold on. Did
You want cut the fat. You want less people in cabinet. You want less people to share this cookie with. You want less people in the cookie jar.
God.
You can't, listen, I guarantee you the PLP does not
You
want to
can't.
have 32 or more ministers in the House of Assembly this
But
election.
I am not a good butcher, Garth.
You want a good butcher?
I'm not a good butcher.
Well, you look like a happy butcher.
Now I'm trying to explain to you that if you give me this meat to cut fat off, you may end up with some meat getting lost also.
That is also true.
Because if you don't, because you know the politics, you know exactly where the fat exists, you know where it's laying, you know where it's fat, you know how to cut, you know the precision. You've been here for 70 years as an organization. If you don't have the wherewithal to identify those 10 people, you can lose up to 17 people.
I guarantee you today here on the foundation that they are going to change some ministers. I am certain.
It ain't
of that.
about changing ministers.
They're going to change the next
They
generation
have
of new
not
candidates.
fired no one yet.
They ain't firing
Listen to me.
nobody.
The U.S. attorney suggests.
They will not fire anybody.
Listen to me.
They're not going to do it.
You reading this here?
I understand what's
Because
there.
of the diplomacy that exists between our two countries, because of the conversations that are happening in different spaces, because of the fact that we're talking about tariffs, we're talking about being able to identify and make modifications to ensure that we can still be a bustling economy. You can't cripple us as a result of being able to try to get to China. My God, this is where a great deal of our economy depends upon. Help us.
And what it has to do with the members of parliament presently?
Okay. The United States of America has identified the perceived corruption that exists in these particular spaces. Yesterday, I was telling you,
I saw
know
that.
you're
I
headed.
saw that spread all over the internet today.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday.
They have details that this is the reason why they feel the Bahamas is corrupt. I saw that. I read the article.
Yesterday, they have also found there's a gentleman that going, I think is Dania Beach, right? Is going up there in his boat, right? 30-some foot pleasure craft.
Sea Ray. It's a Sea Ray.
$500,000 worth of cocaine.
32-foot Sea Ray.
$500,000 worth of cocaine.
Okay.
Now, he's indicated that he was supposed to be bringing some people, but the fellas put the coke on the boat. The first thing the wife say, cocaine on the boat, eh?
Yeah, I heard you.
Cocaine on the boat.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now let's get some things clear. The United States of America has already been building a case to identify the perceived corruption that exists in these particular places, and they have not just said this is general. They've identified elements within our uniform branch of the government.
Okay.
Then they come in the newspaper on the 24th and they say that the U.S. attorney suggests, the U.S. attorney don't suggest nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, this is getting heavy.
I want you to get very heavy.
I want you to get it. I trying to be decent.
So
though.
take off the robe and then bring it out. Take off the
The
tuxedo.
U.S. attorney don't suggest nothing. When they come to you with these particular things, this ain't a suggestion. They already have an entire docket on you.
Okay.
Now, only because of diplomacy, they made suggestions.
Okay.
But this suggestion is two-part. This suggestion is to be able to tell the government that we're getting ready to make a move. You better do what you're supposed to do. And the suggestion is also designed in the newspaper to tell the body of the Bahamian public, the electorate,
this is what's happening within your government.
Okay.
And because of this perceived corruption, we already said if the PLP don't deal with this, they have to go to an early election. Yeah, the same day this come out is the same day they say that they're going to put their bid out for re-election on June 6th, Labor Day.
Mm-hmm. I see the
This is
coincidence.
peculiar.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this separate? This got to be serendipity. We can't say this is strategy, and I can't say this is by design. I only could say this is peculiar, isn't it? This is very peculiar that they did it like this.
Yeah, they're saying if you have evidence, then you help me fire these people. I'm not going to fire them on my own. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but that actually also simultaneously bodes, as I look at it, as incompetence within your sector.
You call it incompetence. I call it no care attitude. The PLP at this particular juncture doesn't feel threatened. They just don't. I don't know why they feel so insulated, but they do.
I don't know if they believe that all the time. They don't feel threatened by the FNM. I could agree with that, 100%.
When this is a
but
part,
the threat ain't coming from the FNM.
We know that, but I'm saying to you once again, because it's overseas, there's always a feeling that we could always work that out. You see, like you always say, it's not so much the PLP, the FNM, or even the entity that's bringing the accusation. The PLP feels comfortable with the people of the Bahamas. That whatever is about to take place,
that's crazy.
That is going to side with us, and you will see this in the next general election. That's why we could tell you we can make a bid to return. We're going to tell Chester Cooper, tell the people that we need a second term. And I said in other spaces, I said, listen to me. How could you need another when you've not given the people their first? You already have.
The people haven't gotten their first from.
This is what I'm saying.
73.
You already have what we promised you. We promised you that we will vote for you to give you an opportunity to prove what you've said that you would do. The things that you said that you were going to do, you have not done. Now, all of a sudden, with all this talk of corruption, the distraction of now doing is present. I watched the game, Howard, like you. I think you made mention of this before. Every time the FNM now begins to sound off and make a complaint, the PLP fix it. The PLP says, you know what? Y'all had an opportunity to do it. You didn't do it. But since you're mentioning it, we'll fix it.
Right now.
Right now. And this is the game. That's why I said to you.
I see Shannon Dawn send me some pictures.
He sent you some pictures?
Shannon Dawn sent me a picture indicating that he
sent you the pictures.
The road has been paved in St. Barnabas. And then I flip over on the internet and I see Michael Alcides on the side of the road with clay sweeting. I just want to be decent.
You want me to be decent?
I'm trying to be decent.
Could I laugh on this microphone? Could I laugh?
Be decent.
Could I laugh?
I'm just trying to tell you something.
I'm trying to say to you now, this is what I'm saying. They feel so comfortable with the people. Could I be indecent for just 1 minute? They're telling you, Bahamian people, that you people are idiots. Point blank. Y'all got to be some of the most insane, silly, stupid people on God's earth. And any game that we decide to play, you're going to go to the polls and you have no choice but to vote either me or my brother. Who are you going to vote for?
My God.
This is what they're telling you.
Let me take this quick break, guys. Get to news. Well, I don't know if I can get to news. Can I come back right now? Yeah. He can come through. He can come right back. All right, so quick break and I'll be right back after this.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Contact Da Vinci Printing Innovators today for all your printing needs. Customized receipt books, NCR forms, invitations, event tickets, program booklets, business and ID cards, flyers, posters, and banners. There's scanning, printing, lamination, and binding services. Also, a variety of office supplies. No design, no problem. Dedicated graphic designers are ready to serve you. Da Vinci Printing Innovators, located in the Village Road Shopping Plaza. Stop in or call 677-2922 or browse services online at www.davinciprinting242.com. nassauguardianradio.com, where printing is an art.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Spring into savings with BWF. March Madness Spring Clearance and Tent Sale, Saturday, March 29th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get up to 50% off. If you're spring cleaning, home improvement, gardening, barbecuing with friends and enjoying the outdoors, remodeling your kitchen or need new appliance, get hopping with BWF. Awesome savings you don't want to miss. Slash prices and great buys on appliances, power tools, generators, compressors, water pumps, hardware, lawn and garden supplies, barbecue grills, household kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, automotive supplies and accessories, craft supplies, floral decor, clearance on all toys, and much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook, and we ship to the Family Islands.
Foundation.
And we are back, guys. We are 2 minutes away from being able to get there for news, but I had to take my second commercial break just being able to talk about these things. I'm in the studio with none other than Garth Roseborough. We're talking about these things. I want to talk about this, the fact that Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper is not incorrect. And though Deputy Chairman of the organization, of the FNM, Dr. Dwayne Sands has a responsibility for being able to vehemently and, relentlessly defend his position as the CEO of the organization and the Free National Movement. There is no running from this. Chester Cooper was not incorrect. Chester Cooper was not incorrect when he said the FNM lacks unity and a coherent plan. We said this. Mm-hmm. We've said that there needs to be a bigger vision for a better Bahamas. We said this. We said that there needs to be a bigger vision, a vision that's outside of the walls of your organization. Every vision that we hear is only to be able to prop up the FNM or the PLP. Every vision that we hear is within the confines of the size of their tent. It's not a vision that expands beyond their tent into the nation. It's not a vision that includes and that requires accountability. It's not a vision that speaks with clarity for strength in this country. It's not, Garth. I just want to be decent.
The issue, too, is that the Progressive Labour Party does a much better job at containing whatever schisms they have within. Their only ambition is to win the election. After they win, they could have all the squabbles they want. They could make it public if they want. But once they have won, the Free National Movement seems to be fighting for this position, fighting for power, fighting for governance. And in their fighting, the factions are evident to everybody because of social media. And people just, in the FNM, as you have always said, they're just simply dissident. And they've not found the glue to pull them together.
Well, after we talk to them, and we continue to be able to talk to them, they keep telling me about the fact that this is democracy, real democracy at play. And there's no expectation that we can be able to put a muzzle on these things. This is the way that democracy
I would call their way of doing things laissez-faire. It's very laissez-faire.
Well, when we get back, we're going to talk about these things. The line's going to be wide open, guys. Let's get to news and be right back after this.
Foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. Loss of family members is very isolating, and people who have experienced loss appreciate when others have shared their grief. If you can't be there in person, go to the Nassau Guardian's website online at thenassauguardian.com and visit our obituary link. The Nassau Guardian's interactive obituary link allows you to read the funeral announcement, express condolences, or place photos on the online guest book for one full year. Losing a loved one is painful. But that pain isn't the worst thing to happen. Friends, loved ones, colleagues, and neighbors who ignore the loss compound the pain. Should the bereaved family wish to place the obituary and photos on our obituary site, just contact the Guardian's Funeral Industry Partners or the Nassau Guardian. Remember, there isn't one magic right thing to say to someone experiencing loss that will make the loss less painful or easier to bear. The Nassau Guardian's obituary link, available online at thenassauguardian.com.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawn live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, and live and in full effect on this beautiful Tuesday, March 25th, 6 days away from the end of this month. I know you guys are excited about that, but we're going to be moving out of the first quarter. I told you by the time we get out of the first quarter, we can identify some things. I tell you all this. I said, by the time we get out of the first quarter, we can understand where the PLP stand. We can know. We couldn't put everything on them in January with our expectations for them to be able to move with instant gratification. That's just not who these people are. They're traditionalists. They follow a particular path and line that a great deal of politicians have traveled before. And so instant gratification is not a part of that line. Everything takes time. And so I know the time. I said, if we don't see anything by the end of the first quarter, then we could be able to put this out. And just before the first quarter end, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper taking on this position to indicate that by June 6th will be the launch officially for the re-election campaign for the Progressive Liberal Party. Being able to do that. Garth is in studio with me today. Garth, talk to me. Guys, the lines are wide open. Let me give you the numbers. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up on the text, 4796.
Yeah, Howard, there's so many issues that you have discussed on your show, The Foundation, that we've put forth publicly, that we've asked answers on. You've had issues with unions. You've had issues with salaries not being paid to particular type individuals like reservists. And there are some other people, of course, like the 52 Weeks people who have had some issues. We've also had people who have been in the civil service for quite some time. I have a neighbor. She has been, since Adelaide Clinic has actually opened up, and she has not yet been permanent and pensionable, so that she herself can go ahead and get herself a loan from a bank or get a home of her own. And so I'm only mentioning these issues as to say that, amazing, we spoke about this, that...
Oh, don't say predicted like...
Well,
let me just talk about it.
Yeah, but no, it's prophesied, because the truth be told, you yourself, you Bishop Grant, they call you Bishop, not me. You're here in your sackcloth and ashes, right? But the truth be told is that you're asking for another term, and many of these issues have not yet been resolved. So who doesn't do their job properly and ask for another chance? I guess we, as human beings, we do.
Everybody.
As human beings, we do.
You beat your woman... you ask her. Your woman cheat on you, she come back ask you. Everybody just asks for another chance.
So that is what these people are asking you for. They're asking for another chance. Now, what makes the other chance viable is the mere fact that the royal opposition makes it seem as if we look like we ain't got no choice. This is why I told you the Progressive Liberal Party is now comfortable. They're comfortable with debating people, because even I count myself as an intelligent man.
If you see the narrative that's coming out of that, the FNM has no leader.
Well, this is what I'm saying to you.
Did you see the narrative?
As an intelligent man, and you're intelligent too, that's why we sit to talk. Farmers who are intelligent, we're speaking to you, not the people who are not intelligible. We want intelligent people to join in this conversation. The truth be told, Well, Howard, I just got to say these things.
No, I can't reject the people.
No, some people ain't smart. You tell yourself you ain't smart, then that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
No,
but if you call yourself smart, I'm talking to you. That's what I'm saying to you, right? So if you call yourself smart and you look at the political landscape, ask yourself the question, what is the clear-cut answer for your vote in 2026? And I guarantee you there's some muddying of the water.
All the water muddy.
This is what I'm saying.
The whole thing, we need to filter.
The opportunity for an opposition to take the government, and it's still muddy.
And the filter has to be conviction. That's what the filter is.
And that's why you're here. That's why you've been having these conversations. We're trying to find a way to filter this muddy water.
Yeah. And it can't be just being able to project the two major organizations and kind of lean towards another third-party organization for the sake of being able to say, well, at least I vote for the FNM and the PLP. I think we have to be calculated. I think we have to be poised. I think we have to be able to absorb information and understand to choose the best candidate. I think we have to look for telltale signs as to whether or not these particular persons are corrupt. I just have to
But can
corruption.
I be fair?
Corruption is a problem.
Can I be fair with you? I listened to your 3 interviews. I listened to the chairman, Fred Mitchell. I listened.
That was a quick one.
I did Dr. Dwayne Sands. I listened to him. And then I listened to the leader, Lincoln Bain. And I gave the competition in my mind to Dr. Dwayne Sands, and I'll tell you why. I like the fact that he was open and that he was willing to speak to the people. I give him full props for that. Full props for that. I didn't like the fact that the first interview, it seemed as if there was no access. And that didn't just come from me. Where I was actually sitting at that time, I was in South Beach surrounded by a lot of people. Many of them were PLBs. They said, man, my God, why we can't call in and ask a question to the chairman? And I said, you all know he wasn't going to take questions. You know he wasn't going to take any text messages. That's just the way it is. But you are the government. You are a public official. I would like to know that we can have access to our public officials. So I gave Dr. Sands credit for that. And then where the COI felt that you had 2 chairmen and then you brought on a leader. I figured that if your chairman could not come to the show on Monday.
No, I didn't call the chairman, with honesty.
So what? So that's your fault?
I couldn't say it's my fault. I've never heard the chairman. I've only heard.
But you interviewed
Lincoln Bain.
you interviewed 2 chairmen, and then you brought on a leader. I think that was a bit imbalanced.
Who has been a chairman for his organization?
Yeah, but he is not the chairman. He is the leader, and if the chairman can't come, then you get the deputy chairman. But I just feel that it showed the incompetence of the organization, or it showed that the fact
that's
that
me. That's me.
I'm saying correct it. That's what I'm saying. You got to correct. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. No. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Don't put it on them because people call me and say Howard called Charlotte Green.
But this is what I'm saying to you.
But I call Lincoln Bain.
But this is what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. So in the future, these people are paying attention is what I'm trying to tell you. And these are the variables that they're going to make their decision on. They just want to know.
We can have time in due season. We'll be able to have a good conversation with all those persons from various capacities and being able to talk to that and being able to talk about where they are. But don't put it on the COI that their chairman is incompetent. I called.
So what was in your mind when you did that?
I thought Lincoln could be able to give me a more articulated insight as to why, and especially how he's listening to the 2 chairmen prior. Right? I thought he would have been able to give me more in-depth insight. And I've already made a commitment to him because we were supposed to do that from last week, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said,
that is true.
We're supposed to do it from last week,
That
Wednesday.
is true.
But he wasn't here, right? So I said, Lincoln, I want to be able to speak with you. He said, okay, all right, no problem. And then he did it.
So it wasn't a chairman's show per se. It was just a COI.
No. Right. Because we didn't.
So
speak
we still
with Lincoln.
we still can wait there for the chairman.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't speak to Lincoln from. They had their vision night.
Right.
We were supposed to be able to talk about that. We didn't speak with him, so I wanted them to come on and sort of wrap those particular things up together.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And as we move forward, I'm sure that we're going to be able to have more conversations with those person. But don't put on the COI like that. I'm sure they're capable and I'm sure they're articulate and insightful. But I chose to ask Lincoln Bain to come.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Lincoln Bain to be here. And I'm sure as we get deeper into the political season, we'll see both leaders of the organization. We've known that we've sat with Michael Pintard prior.
Yes.
And we've never had an opportunity, but I'm sure that the Prime Minister will make himself available to have a conversation with us.
Oh, yeah.
In due time and due season, right? And so I just keep taking notes and ready for the Prime Minister. I may have a 5-hour show that day. I might have to put him on a different thing and record it.
because we're gonna have to have the good conversation with them. Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, what's happening, Howard?
Everything good, man. What's happening?
I just love when you got God on the show.
Praise God.
God has asked so many pertinent questions, and then he turns around and say, "I sensible."
Well, you know, Howard is my brother, man. That's my little brother, so I can't abandon him. That's my brother.
Listen, God, Howard, look around. Just turn around the studios. Look around. Do you all realize, as Bahamians, we have no one left?
It feels like that some days, doesn't it, Howard? Some days it feels, and then some days you just feel happy to be in the Bahamas. Isn't that how you feel sometimes?
Listen, God. There was several years ago when you and I went to shoot marble and spin top and fly kite, right?
Great days.
When we had something. God, we don't have water wicks anymore. God, we don't own none of these gas stations and things no more. God, Prince George stock gone. God, Ahwaukee gone. Howard BEC gone. The only thing they keeping us with Braden and Don with is bananas there. And why they wouldn't let that go, I believe that might be gone before the next election. We don't have nothing left. And these, listen, let me ask you all a question. They pass some marijuana, Billy. Rochester Pete sound like he's smoking.
Oh, I can let you go. You're doing too much. That's smart as the deputy prime minister of the country. You can say you sound like. I can't let you do that, right? Let me take a next telephone call. I just got to be decent, God. Because, people get Nancy now. Right?
We're very, very timid right now.
We get Nancy now.
Yeah. And this is the season. This is the season.
Yeah, I don't want nobody suing me. Not for nothing. So let's just be very clear about these things, right? Next telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Howard.
What's happening? What's happening, my brother?
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
I'm glad you cleared that situation up because I on record for after you made that request to the COI, right? I called you and asked.
Yeah. You called me. You did call me.
And told you to say, Howard.
Call Charlotte Green.
Charlotte Green
yes.
is a capable and competent, knowledgeable young lady, and she could sit with those two dinosaur.
This is season. This is season. Yeah, this is season. How would you say it?
It is the season, but I saw you. I mean, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it is what it is. They've been around very long than enough, so But the point is, call again, Ms. Charlotte Green, because I sure you might not have had a chance to speak with her, but if you do, it's a conversation, man. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Next telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good, man. What's happening?
Right here, I just would like to say, I do share the same sentiments of God. I thought I'd give the edge to Dr. Sands with the interviews that you recently conducted. And I also say, don't ever count the pre-national movement out, because if you remember before the 2017 election in 2016, they removed Dr. Millis as leader of the party. I mean, the House of Assembly. So you all would have thought that they would have won 36 seats.
That's a strong position that you've taken. But we got to stretch out the...
I missed something.
No. He said, don't ever count the Free National Movement out, because who would have thought that the Free National Movement would have won the way that it won after what happened in 2016 and 2017?
The turmoil that they went through.
No, I understood that to be so, but I also understood that the currency at that particular time was much stronger. The currency at this time was a bit older, and when that currency shows up, you're looking at a younger electorate. So I'm looking at the connection between the currency. And when I say the currency, you know who I'm talking about. I'm looking at the currency and the younger generation supporting that currency. So in 2017, you're right. That currency showed up 3 weeks before the election, and that pushed them over the finish line. If that currency shows up again in election, I am not certain with the factions in place that is going to have the same results.
Anything though, God, because a day is a lifetime in politics.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying to you, we don't have that certainty right now. We know it worked in the past. I'm saying to you, there's a possibility that has diminished somewhat, and it could be a factor. I'm a person, I try to look at all angles. I'm not pulling on one side or another. I'm not counting anybody out in this election. I'm just simply saying if you're depending on that particular currency, you may find yourself to be in trouble.
Brave Davis might tap into the same energy that Hubert Ingram tapped into in 1997.
Yeah, but I mean, but all, like you say, they're not paying unions lukewarm towards the government. It seems like they've not paid the students them college tuitions and whatever scholarship fees. So it's a lot of turmoil out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that and your contribution. But I want to say this: all those are just a swift of a pen or a swipe of a pen.
Yeah.
These are just topical issues. That ain't nothing to talk about.
Okay, here's my issue.
If you're going to be able to get in by what they haven't done, the PLP could do these things in less than 60 days.
Yeah.
They can do those
They can
things
fix it.
swiftly, right? But that's not how you're going to judge the PLP, not in my view. Okay. Now, the second thing that I believe when I say that if Brave Davis taps into that energy that Hubert Ingram tapped into in 1997,
Tell us about it.
Hubert Ingram said, 1992, he says, I'm not done. After 1992, after he would have opened up this and do that and do these things, people were a little bit indifferent. And then he says, listen, man, it's going to get better with the F&M win 2 straight, right? Just give me another time. Just give me one more chance to be able to get a couple of things done, so forth and so on.
But he was working.
He was working.
So you gave him another chance.
So
'cause he
you
was
gave
working.
him another chance.
Yes.
You saw some things get done.
Yes.
What was not done
Before.
in 5 years
Yes.
that we've been waiting for.
Working prime minister.
Okay. Now, Brave Davis only now have to be able to separate and go right back to what we was talking about, the fat from the lean from the fat, and being able to identify those things when he can be able to, all he has to do is say, okay, well, these are the things that we've done. We know that we haven't been able to tackle these things, but we need more time. And just give me one more opportunity to be able to do this, this, and this. That's it. But I don't know whether or not that could be believable because the 2 campaigns that he's been running.
Here's the issue for me.
He's been running an international campaign and a local campaign.
Yeah, and
He still ain't shut down his international campaign yet.
he wants to go, but I don't think he won't go.
He ain't shut it down yet. He got to shut down your campaign.
He ain't traveling right now.
Yeah, but how you can travel? You say you get into re-election, launch a re-election, a bid for re-election, and June 6th, right? And you still haven't really officially shut down this international campaign. I'm not talking about your international relations.
I know.
I'm talking about this is a campaign.
He put that on pause right now.
Pause. You got to let that go. He got to get to the constituencies in the community. It has to be more than just being able to, when Brave Davis shows up, dancing and being able to gyrate and have a good time and this celebratory feel. It has to be a somber feel in places that we know is hurting in our constituencies. It have to be.
I saw Brave down in Makewana, my mommy hometown. He down there doing some things all of a sudden.
You have to do it.
He wasn't in Africa. He wasn't in Europe. He was in Mayaguana.
He has to do this. If the PLP wants to win the next general election, they have to get to work. And there's a lot of issues that we can contend with on this radio and say the PLP hasn't done this, they haven't done that. Bop, sign, that's done.
Yeah.
But Felix.
There's even Adams, Taylor, them.
But they
getting their things.
If you're going to make a determination by the tangibles that the PLP could be able to do overnight. They could fix these things overnight.
That's what he's doing. That's what he's telling you.
If you're going to judge them by the tangibles, you might as well say you can vote PLP because they could fix these things overnight.
You know what?
But dealing with corruption, the fact that you're not identifying these things and being able to put accountability in place, the fact that you're not putting the infrastructure in place to ensure that we can move forward and make the. If you judge the PLP by the tangibles, they can fix the tangibles. The intangibles is what you need to judge them by. They can't fix that.
Well, but you know how long it take to fly down to Makewana? You know how long it take to take boat down to Makewana? This fella reached all the way down to Mayaguana. This is at the bottom of the archipelago, you know. And he made time to go down there. So when you said they could fix it, this is what they do. This is what I'm telling you.
The PLP can fix this.
They go in they can fix these things.
The PLP can fix this.
Here's the issue for me, Howard Grant. And this
Can the Free National Movement fix their disunity?
This is what I say to you. So this is what I say to you. The caller.
Can the Free National Movement give us a vision that's bigger than their organization to pull people in?
Whereas Michael Pintard has a good record in Marco City, and whereas Shannon Cartwright will have a good record in St. Barnabas, when we look at these people, Howard Grant, how do you see them performing on an international front based on the type or their proof of leadership? Do you think we could transfer that same type of energy to an international front to talk to President Trump, to talk to...
Listen, hold on now.
To King Charles? I'm just asking.
Hold on.
I'm just asking.
Hold on. There's some sharp fellas.
Okay.
Shannon Norn is articulate, insightful. He is read. He has world information. He could be able to pull that into the conversation very quickly. I sat with both of these people. They sharp. They good. Okay.
You tell me they sharp, but they ain't fix the problem.
What problem? The problem belongs to
the party. What sharpness got to do with that? I'm trying to tell you. I just said to you, in their constituency, they may be okay. But in leadership,
if you're a woman holding on to stubbornness and you sitting down and indicating to her, listen, we have to rectify this, we have to rectify that. I don't think you should be doing this, and let's have a conversation about this. And she is steadfast and stiff-necked in her position that this stubbornness belonged to me. I know I ruled.
So what God do?
Right?
What God to do?
Oh, you only can do what you can do.
What you think I can do?
You can leave the woman?
I then divorce you, miss. You gone. You think it's a game, You gone. I ain't playing with you. If I doing my part and you would act the fool, miss, you gone. Jesus, for you think it's a game?
Like, this is a lot. This is a lot, God. You make me laugh. But I'm trying to tell you.
You ain't the only woman in the world?
Some people hold on to the convictions.
No, I ain't holding on to
their
that
position.
No.
The Free National Movement has not let go of this idea of dissidence. That's their fault. I don't know how you could be moving and dissident at the same time. It's confusing. I don't understand.
When you're up for leadership, you may be sharp in your own
But this existed before them.
But I don't
This existed with Cecil.
Boss man.
This existed with Hubert.
When I come
this existed with the next
when
Hubert.
I come in the house, I in charge. This changing today.
You see that? And that right
That's
there.
leadership.
That right there.
Michael C. Pindard in charge. Take charge and be a leader. Change it.
You ever been in a FNM meeting?
You think I scared it?
They will knock you out that room.
Knock who?
Ask Richard. Let me take a quick Let me take a quick break and I'll be right back after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
Great Commissions Ministries is God's storehouse. They have been caring for the poor since 1987. You are invited to support their Stop and Drop program by dropping off some food items in their barrels and some cash in their bottles. You can donate an offering each month or pay your tithes online to Great Commissions through the Givelify or SunCash apps. Help them to shelter the homeless, feed the hungry, and spread the gospel of Christ. Volunteer your service and support the Live to Give program. Call Great Commission Ministries, God's Storehouse at 325-5801 for further information or stop by the office on Wolf Road. Be blessed.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
At 26 ETIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert Battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fix up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant and Company, the foundation, live and in full effect. The lines are wide open. Please give me a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hi, Howard. Hey, Garth.
Hey, what's up, Nico?
I missed your call. Sorry about that.
Hey, what's happening with you?
Go ahead.
Oh, everything's good, man. Everything's good. Just stuffing. I was just listening, and I'm glad, Howard, that you clarified the differences between tangibles and intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority of Bahamians, the tangible part is, and I'm not saying you're insulting, I'm just saying it's insulting to the intellect of the majority of the Bahamians. By patching the holes on the road, possibly turning the street lights on that don't work, sweeping up the ground to make it nice and clean and all of that sort of thing. Do you honestly believe that's going to win the vote for the PLP? Highly unlikely. What the Bahamian people are discussing, a lack of respect to them, especially the statement made by the Prime Minister that he's not going to talk anymore about the moorings.
Mm-hmm.
And then this particular, he's the Prime Minister. He works for us. He doesn't tell us what he's going to do and not going to do. We want to know. And that disrespect is disseminated throughout his party. And the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability, the Bahamian people are tired. The PLP continuing to do what they're doing, those things, the perceived corruption, the lack of accountability, the disrespect to the Bahamian people, and this ivory tower that they perceive they're sitting in, not going to happen. The Bahamian people are tired. Now, I do agree that there hasn't been enough show me what you're going to do. Show me the plan by the opposition. However, the opposition is willing to provide the transparency and do this. Now, both parties they have their own problems. Now, if they go ahead and fix their perceived squabbles or whatever that's going on, is that really as important as the perceived corruption, the major scandals that have occurred in the last 3 years? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. So my humble opinion is the tangibles, quite frankly, is an insult. So you patch the road. The next rain that comes, wash out that substandard tar or whoever puts them in. And we're right back to square one.
Absolutely.
So
we've always been back to square one for 51 years.
Well, thanks for the call, Nico.
Nico, we've been back to square one for 51 years. Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate you. We've been back to square one for 51 years.
Yeah.
This is, listen.
That's my only thing.
They have never designed this to ensure that we can get out of the deprivation that we're in.
And he said it right, Howard. And I want you to expound on this for us if you could. The one word that sits so strongly for me in that conversation just now was the disrespect. The Bahamian people, those who do not understand that they've been disrespected, you need to understand how much disrespect has been given.
Now, see, this is where I was going to go right there.
Yeah, I know you are.
Those who do not understand that they were being disrespected.
Yes.
I watched this movie called Runaway Slave, Runaway something. I can't remember what it is, right?
Runaway Howard.
Runaway something, right? This thing is on Prime, right? My little daughter signed up for the Prime thing, right? So I watched this Runaway Slave thing.
She signed up for it?
Yeah, she did.
She got credit card.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I give her credit card, right? So she signed up for it. I'm watching this thing here. And there's one character, right? There is Ridgway, right? His last name is Ridgway. He is a slave catcher. So when you run off, this is the Underground Railroad. That's what it, So when you run off, he actually comes and gets you. Now with him is a little small black boy. He's a 7-8-year-old, and he is learning all the ways of the white man, right? And in learning all these particular ways, he doesn't even understand. He doesn't even understand the insult of being able to be in his capacity, in his skin, and pursuing the people who look like him. And listen, he didn't kill black people at all to ensure, because his conditioning is, this is my responsibility, this man is taking care of me, he's father. But for the only way the little black boy could go to sleep in the night is he's curl up and put his hands back into the cuffs. All day he free, walking up and down, telling Negroes what to do, and then in the night, he have to put his hands in the cuff because that's the only way he could sleep when he was a baby.
My God.
Now, I'm trying to show you something. Some people just don't know that they've been insulted. Some people just don't know about the infractions that exist in this space. They don't know. Now, you're having a conversation with an intellectual, a highbrow conversation with people who understand that this is an insult. They understand this. They understand that what the PLP has levied against us and their nonchalant approach to being able to identify issues and be transparent, be accountable to these issues, the way that they're flippant and saying, I'm not going to talk about this. We've seen this before in Venice. We've seen this before. But this nonchalant attitude caters to their base. There is a base that don't care what you do or you don't do. They don't even understand what you say when you stand at the podium and rallies. They only know colors.
That's it. Conditioned. They've just been conditioned.
What Nico spoke to just now is a niche. It represents some 20% of 400,000 people, which is 80,000 people. 320,000 people do not care about this. How we can fix that? People where they are. And if the opposition could use this information, they have to get out. When we was talking to Fred Mitchell the other day, in his capacity as chairman, Fred said, we've done studies, the Prime Minister is well aware of your studies, Howard, and we've done our own internal studies, and what we come to find out is that it doesn't make sense, and I surmise, it doesn't make sense having a conversation with all these young people, you know. The people who are making decision based upon our information is mothers and grandmothers. Didn't we talk about this before, Garth? Didn't I tell you that if I get in campaign, I get in campaign to mama? I told you this. If I go on the campaign, I am not worrying about all these other things because at the end of the day, when mama cook peas and rice and coleslaw, macaroni, and 2 meats on Sunday, when you go to her, and baby, you thinking about a thing, huh? Well, you know, that boy Howard was here for me the other day. He good, you know. I think we should give him a chance. That's all the campaign you need. The PLP understands this. If the FNM doesn't do their proper work to identify how they're going to be able to reach their demographic that's disenchanted, that's disenfranchised, that's distant, then they're not going to win the next general election. It's simple. It don't matter. You think you're dealing with all intellects. This is not an intellectual thing. There's a niche, which is 80,000 people, tops 100,000, tops in this country, tops. That can be able to be like read, write, arithmetic. That's more than that. That can be able to comprehend, understand, and apply. 100,000 people. We ain't saying that Bahamian people dumb, but we're saying that there are some people who have dedicated themselves to understanding a highbrow conversation. That's it. So I don't disagree with what Nico's saying.
Yeah, he's on target.
But you have to meet people where they are. You can't try to make modifications and tell people, come up a little higher. You don't have the time for that. Election ain't no time to educate people. Election time is to be able to motivate people. Talk to me, Garth.
I am with you on this, Howard. This is something recurring. You've said it before. We actually said that right before the election, you're going to see these things take place. We're not being prophets. We're not being bishops. We're not being pastors. This has been history. Over the last 30 years, we can tell you this is how it works.
This is why they don't pay attention to any the education. They don't seek to educate you. They want you to motivate you, to inspire you to vote for them.
Well, this is why the government party now has all the media personality on board, because if they don't tell you, you just ain't going to find out. But you have people like Howard Grant sitting here in this space. You have Guardian Radio. You have other people who are standing in this space and saying to you, listen, wake up, people. but you prefer to see gold and red, like Howard said, because you have only been conditioned. You're not looking at truth and lies.
See, but the acquisition or the commandeering, let's do it like that, of any media personality is not for the 80%, is for the 20%. Because you understand their rhythm, their words, you understand their intellect, and you can be able to see some sort of glimmer of hope to say, oh, okay, I didn't look at the PLP in this particular manner. That wasn't for the 80%. 80% don't need that.
No.
They hire people like D-Mac and Gino D and other artists
So you can shake your
to
boom
sing
boom.
a song
Yeah, shake you
for
up.
the 80%. That ain't for you and me. That ain't for us. That ain't for us. It's a good song. And songs can make a determination as to where
Who got the best song? Yeah,
My
boy.
God, this-
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christ. I can vote for these people.
Yeah.
These the people I can vote for.
That song right there. That's it right there. That's the best song right
Yeah, that's
there.
for the 80%.
Yeah.
The 20%, I'm not going to make a determination of who I can vote for based on the song.
We can shake this and then and drink some and eat some. And yeah,
Okay,
man.
praise God. Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Next call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, Howard, you spoke about.
You echo. You echo. You got to pull your microphone. I mean, turn off your radio.
Did I make?
Turn off your radio. Come close to the phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, the previous caller commented about the government, current government, not responding to president.
I tried my hardest to hear what you said. Can you hear?
No, I just turned up my.
Spoke about the current government not responding to president.
The prior government.
Try to get the next phone, my brother. I can't. I'm sorry. I cannot hear what you said.
Yeah, we can't hear.
I can't hear what you're saying. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, God. And how would I?
Hey, what's up, Anton?
Right on, man. Good
to hear
afternoon
from
to
you.
the nation. Look, a couple of things very quickly. Let me add into this conversation. I didn't catch the first half, by the way. But if it's anything like what you're talking about now, I'll still be in tune. I heard Howard and God on either Aaron or Cecil's show, right? And he said something that was very profound. We normally discuss it on your show regularly, Howard and God, right? And Howard or God. And it is keeping your word, right? He was calling on the body that controls Jonkanu, that is made up of the Jonkanuas, to keep their word now that the court ruling is in.
JCNP.
Right? Hello?
Yeah.
Right. No one is above the law in the land. And it seems as though they were not given the consideration to participate in their recent elections, even though the court had already ruled before the election. Now, I would in the strongest way possible, demand the Attorney General, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet of the Bahamas to get involved, because we can't have a runaway JCNP. No one is above the law in this country. They all must fall in line, okay? However, taking what Trevor said, keeping your word, that very statement right there is what is going to hurt the PLP, chances of re-election, in the booth, at the polls, on the campaign trail, if amends are not made post-haste. Keeping your word. That is priority number one. It's nothing like people staying home, as we saw in the last elections, right? But even worse, your party supporters staying home or staying away from the polls or not being motivated or not believing anything coming out of your mouth because you didn't keep your word and you didn't seek to make amends for the oversight, or whether it was intentional or unintentional, right? Moving on to my next point. Y'all get me clearly?
Yeah, Anton. I get the lines lit right up, so you got to be quick with this one.
Yeah. Very, very quickly. Anyone who is believing that is an advantage of any sort for us in the PLP or any other party or there, you are in another realm, right? You aren't in the real world, because guess what? The last election, there couldn't be more disunity than what occurred in the FNM in the last election. I mean, for God's sake, their leader, he was stripped of the leadership in Parliament, and he still went on to beat the PLP 35-4. And so get that out of your head. The election has nothing to do with disunity in another party. It has everything to do with the government sitting in the chair. And please, I'll end on this point, Howard. Please, let's stop this nonsense. comparing our performance to a government that we branded as a failure, okay? Because it speaks, that in itself, if we're going to use that approach, that in itself says that we are failing ourselves and we are not living up to our true potential, which if we do, it would encompass and capture the majority of people in the country, and it would lift the economy so that everybody can feel the benefits in a real way according to our true potential, including PLPs. Keep your word. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
Thank you, Anton. Quick commercial break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
Why settle for the typical burger when you can indulge in the Steakhouse Bacon Whopper at BK? The king is razor piece that combines all of your favorite steakhouse flavors. A juicy flame grilled beef patty topped with A1 steak sauce, crispy onions, savory bacon, Swiss cheese, creamy peppercorn aioli with fresh lettuce and tomato. It's a steakhouse experience you can hold. Crafted the BK way. The Steakhouse Bacon Whopper is bursting with flavor. Only available for a limited time at Burger King Nassau.
Introducing the Get Fit 7 Weeks Wellness Program led by prominent dietitian Dr. Ida Mehana. This program will benefit pre-diabetics, diabetics, people with high blood pressure and cholesterol. What can you expect? Hemoglobin A1C and cholesterol testing, health education, exercise, and cooking classes for only $2.95. Program starts Tuesday, April 1st at 6 p.m. at the Better Living Health Center. For more info, WhatsApp us at 323-5473.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Inland Revenue is here to guide and help you with all things business license and VAT. On March 25th and 26th at the National Baseball Stadium, the DIR will host a financial symposium with multiple government and private agencies. Then in the month of April, learn all about VAT through our in-person and virtual sessions during what we call VAT Education Month. For more information, follow Capital DIR Bahamas on all social media platforms.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
All right, guys, we got 9 minutes to get back into it. Let me take a quick telephone call. Callers on the line, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Next call. Caller, go ahead. Next call. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, hey, Howard, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Ciala?
And God, how you doing?
Good day to you.
Yeah, let's talk about the economics of what happens, and building on what Anton and Maury said, right? Essentially, the next election is going to be about the economy. If you go back to 2007, where we began to adopt what's called a voice smartphone in the true sense, and moved to 2012, and then again in 2017, where more information is shared and less personal interaction. We've even seen this in the way we do things. And 2020 is when the whole concept of governance changed, and that was accelerated by COVID. And so the methodology of communications is no longer there. But again, it's about the tangible and the intangible, the seen and the unseen. And all you have to do, people applying for each one of their cohorts, look at the fact that social services has said they've been magnified, look at their housing affordability crisis, look at the fact that people's personal economies are not going to meet anything else. All of these things will play into the next election. You would be a fool to believe that the new generations of millennials and Gen Zs are going to unequivocally follow what their parents and grandparents say. They are actually involved. They are actually looking towards it. What they're looking to hear is a message of what's now, what's new, and what's next. And so where do they fit in? Howard, if you were to go, so I have to give you a picture right now of you standing in front of a stadium with hundreds of other people, guess what you would do? you try to look within that first thing you do before you look at the rest of the picture. And so this new generation of voters, and remember we're talking about the 225,000 eligible individuals that is eligible, and then when you begin to extrapolate from that. So anyone who, with the absence of the actual data, and let me rest assured, the PLP has the data, the real data, not what they tell you. And so, there's always a means to get a copy of their data, the FNM data, and whatever else data is out there. And so you don't say what the data says, you represent what you want people to believe. But when you look at the true data, and you did some little polling yourself, imagine that what you found to be magnified 100 times, because you're now talking about 200,000 people where you may have only talked to 2,000 people, right? So when you look at that magnification, and the fact is then you look at the economy, and this is what the unions are fighting for. The unions are basically saying, we have not kept pace. That's 25,000 people alone, 25 to 30,000 people alone in the government sector also. The fact that our tourism product has not returned to pre-pandemic era, even though it's been marketed to them. Those thousands of people are sitting at home. You can't convince them because they're not even looking for a job because there's no more job in that industry that they are actually.
So what's your assessment? Because I don't have much time and I got the lines lit right up. So what's your assessment about the conversation that we had today? We've looked at the FNM as it relates to union or this kind of a presumption of disunity that exists in these particular spaces. We looked at the PLP and identified those particular things. What say you in 20 seconds as we be able to go on to the next line? Go ahead.
In 20 seconds, you ever seen the square on the beach and the riptide underneath? What you're doing is you're looking at the surface, but you're not recognizing the current underneath. And the PLP is fighting in the background, and the FBS is fighting in the background. When I say fighting, I said building in the background. And that's the part you have to observe. And the begging of the leadership of the PLP, the senior leadership of the PLP, we have to get it together. They know that tide, the undertide, is pulling them out of the reach of the people. And so there's no ifs, ands, and buts. The problem is the same thing, say this. Anton hit it right. They gave us a blueprint for change and 2 address from the throne and plenty of promises on the campaign trail. If you stop to look at it, 80% of them is unfulfilled. And the question is to ask is, if you couldn't do it in 4 years, what could you do in another 5? Because you have to come a new thing change.
I appreciate the telephone call. And the truth of the matter is we talked about this today, it is between the tangibles and the intangibles. And if you can't tell the difference between the tangibles and the intangibles, then you two are, and I don't mean you, Sienna, I mean for those persons who are observant, all of us. If you don't know the difference between the tangibles and the intangibles, you cannot change the intangibles with a swipe of a pen. You can't. You can't. The perceived corruption that exists, you have to take time, you have to identify these things, you have to tackle this. It has to be a project, it has to be determination to be able to rectify these things. You can't deal with that exists in these particular spaces, the freedom of information that exists in these spaces, the transparency that we call for, the accountability that we yearn. You can't change that. However, if you need a road paved, we can fix that quickly, man. That's light work. If you're hungry, man, we can fix that. That's light work. If you're only going off of superficial surface things, there are many FNMs right now mad with Hubert Minnis. Mad. You know why? Because they just get that contract. Talk to me, God. They just got that contract, and then he can go and snap election. I ain't make no money. I ain't make no money. That's a superficial thing.
Yeah.
This is just a superficial thing.
Yeah.
You understand? Let's take a next telephone call before we get out of here. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Howard, and in studio.
Hey, what's up, Graham? Go ahead.
My good friend from the north, I'd ask him to bring the evidence to support his statement about the undertow and the youth. Could you bring on the Register General next week and ask him for statistics? How many people are 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and Mummy and Grammy?
You mean the isn't it a newly stated one?
You ever been on the line at election? How many 20-year-olds you see versus Grammy and the 50-year-old children?
You don't see no 20-year-olds unless they stand with Grammy.
So unless the Allen has some evidence to say that the majority of the voters now are 20, I'm going to tell him those people are not as, unfortunately, concerned about their future. But I would speak to them in this way, saying, what ownership do they have in their own country? And you too, Howard. And I would ask this question. Why is it after 50 years we couldn't double the senior citizen's pension? My God, as Papa would say. And let me tell you, when you look at that, whether you're yellow, red, black, white, green, you know, day one.
As an old man, you need that.
See, what that does, is that wipes out the playing field. Because when my mother, 90, say, I ain't voting no more, but now doubling my pension, we got to go do that little thing.
Well, boy, they help us out good. Go help them, baby.
And I am. My mom is living with me, so as the younger person, your age, Howard, and my pension coming soon, and I know, hey, that can help me at the food store.
I can need that.
So, you saw what just happened?
I can need that.
You saw what just happened, right?
All of it. Grammy ain't got to tell me, and Mommy ain't got to tell me, go vote for a government that's actually going to ensure that she's taken care of.
What is Mommy and Grammy going to do? They could burn their shade on that day. They come in with no colors.
That's
when that happens, you should be fearful. So, let's get the Register General on to tell us
I like that.
the demographic of who's registered, and we'll know bush crack if you double in pension. You have a good one.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very kindly.
I like that call.
Let's be able to see if we can get out of here now. Let me see if I can read one or two of these texts. He says, I am one of the same people that only want to see you and have access to me, which is the MP, and that's it. This is know what has me upset. I'm in Freetown, and I have never seen Wayne Monroe, not once. This is a text that's coming through. My God, these
want to
some
see
texts.
Wayne Monroe?
I don't know. I guess they say they didn't see Wayne Monroe once. I don't know, but you can see Wayne Monroe. Howard, what Papa had going for him is different than what Brave has now. The PLP has too many corrupt scandals in their midst. Papa was working and her never allowed for scandal. As a text, he never allowed for scandal, I suppose. As a text is coming through, Garth, I want to thank you, my brother. Join me tomorrow. I think I was supposed to have somebody coming tomorrow. I was trying to get them F&M and PLP.
You can share.
They tell me they can't make it. So we can see if we can come in and have
They better start making it.
I'm not going to fight them.
Don't fight them.
I don't fight them.
But why we cry so much when we don't get the results we want?
Okay, praise God.
You don't want to do what it takes to be done, and then when we put it on you, you say, why y'all picking on me?
It's
remember
time
that song?
I remember that.
Why
Guys,
is everybody always picking on me? Charlie Brown?
it's time for y'all to squabble up and get in your crew.